tuning in from in the comments section. I'm going to look like a robot for a split session as I do go live on Facebook. Let me just minimize this here and pull the Facebook app up, and I will be live on there as well. Okay. Going to welcome me on Instagram as well. Hi on TikTok. Welcome. Hello on Instagram. Welcome. As you come on here, hit the thumbs up button. Tell me where you are tuning in from. We are about to go. Welcome on Facebook. Okay, I think we're live pretty much everywhere. We are live on my 2 YouTube channels, Andrea Cox TV and the Detox Intuitive. We are also live on Facebook, which I look like Casper the Friendly Ghost. We are live on my growing TikTok channel where I look great. I don't know, must be the sun coming in the window. And we are also live on Instagram. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Those of you who don't know me, I am Andrea Cox, intuitive healer and detox specialist, author of Eat Right 4, the number 4, Your Zodiac, available in Barnes & Noble online, Target stores, and goodness, on Amazon and in the shop at AndreaCox.com. Gonna say hello real quick to my Facebook family in the comments so they know I am live. And I'm going to talk about something really important today. I'm going to get right to it. Thank you for the compliment on my outfit. Thank you. It's an oldie but goodie. But before I do, I want to mention that we've restocked the Etsy shop. We have these really cool, I never bring up the Detox Intuitive Etsy store, but my team was like, it's Christmas, bring it up. We've got these really cool sage infused bundles. This one's infused with lavender. This one's infused with dandelion. It's the reason my nails are off this week. So those of you who don't know, I grow 90% of my own food here at the house, and I have a beautiful flower garden. And so a lot of those infusions go into things. Let me take a quick drink of my homemade kombucha. Excellent. Okay, let me say hi to my peeps right there. Hello, welcome. Continue telling me where you're tuning in from. I want to talk about depression today, and I want to share with you my personal struggle that I have had in the past. I don't really want to bring up, the celebrity who just passed away, the gentleman everybody's talking about, because I actually personally think that kind of, I don't know, I think using people as an example like that isn't the best way to get the message across. I think we never know what someone is going through. We still don't have all the facts about that either. But I want to share my personal journey and the 2 times in my life that I really, really suffered and that I looked just like I do now. And one was more recently, and the first time I suffered with depression was a few years ago, back in 2017 through, I would say 2019. I went through a very, very deep, dark, situational depression. And I want to explain the difference between situational depression and regular depression. And I am going to share some tips and ways, because I am a holistic wellness coach, on how you can help yourself through the darkness. Some dietary changes, some supplements you can take, etc. So we'll get to that. So I definitely want you to stick around. continue telling me where you're tuning in from, and hit that like and heart button and hit follow button wherever you're following me at. I love to connect with you guys. I read every single comment and message. So the first time I struggled with depression was around 2017 through 2019 when I went through a breakup. It was no one's fault. Both of us were equally responsible. But I spent the majority of that 3-year time span in a spare bedroom. I lived in this big, beautiful house in sunny San Diego. And I spent the majority of my time sleeping with my 2 dogs. I have Roger and Lewis, who I still have right now. Roger's since passed. I have Maverick now. I spent the majority of my time sleeping in this bedroom alone, crying, working through my sadness, working through my issues. And it was during that time that I developed my second YouTube channel, the Detox Intuitive, which is a spiritual channel. And I developed my Akashic record reading, my oracle reading business. I had always been a holistic wellness coach, and I had done that for years. But I realized that through these valuable lessons that I was learning so very much, and I needed to help others. I waited until I was healed before I started doing those readings. But, you know, to the naked eye of everyone else, I looked like the picture of health. Of course, you know, a breakup, I had lost 20 pounds. I was really thin. I looked like a little supermodel walking around. I looked and I appeared great. But the fact of the matter was I wasn't great. I was suffering, and I was suffering in silence. And that was a very dark period of time for me. And the second time was recently when I was going through some drama at a house I was living in Las Vegas that was totally unnecessary. So again, situational depression. The definition of that is you're not a depressed person, but the situation you're in is causing a momentary depression for that period of time. So thumbs up if you guys can relate to that, right? Tell me in the comments section. So I was going through something that was completely unfair. I mean, legally unfair. I mean, I've been legally unfair. And I was being bullied. I was being picked on. And I had dealt with bullying and harassment online for years. You guys know the story who have been with me through that saga. But that aside, this was different because this was, you know, a couple that knew I was wanting to relocate and wasn't wanting to, you know, I was just wanting out and I wasn't renewing a lease there, and they got angry and made my life really, really difficult for no reason. There was no reason for it. And so as I was going through that, I had to pack up and go through a move. It was also very expensive. The whole entire move cost me close to 20 grand. And I know, and I was moving out of state. And so I was leaving friends behind that I had met there. And then when I moved, right after I moved in here, my sweet cousin passed away. And that was like the knife just kind of turning and really, sorry, that's my dog and his bone. That was really painful for me to go through because she had become, you know, my buddy. She had become my friend, and she was gone. She was 42 years old. She left 4 kids behind. And we had developed a relationship where we would talk almost every day. And she became a sister to me. Her name was Mika. And so I went through a period of time more recently, because she passed, I believe, 2 months ago, where I spent a lot of time, once again, sleeping on the downstairs couch with my dogs, really, really struggling to understand why something like that could happen to someone so good. You ever know someone that's amazing? They never speak a bad word about anyone. They only do good in this world, and they leave this earth early. I saw it the other day on YouTube, a Michigan football player, so sad, in his 20s, left a little boy behind. Let me take a drink of this, and I want to share the point I am trying to make. The point I'm trying to make here is, let me get something for him real quick. Sorry, got that away from him. The point I'm trying to make here is this: we never know. I had to trick him with another treat to get this bone away from him. We never know what people are going through. We really don't. Someone can look good, they can be in shape, they can smile from ear to ear, they can have everything going for them, they can have money, they can have their health, they can have, from the outside looking in, they can have their health, but they could be going through, they could have a great family, we've seen that recently, but they could be going through struggles inside. So what this has done for me going through this, and then I'm going to share some tips to help all of you, health tips actually, real, proven, scientifically proven ways to get yourself out of a dark depression. What this has done to me is two things. It's taught me to watch my words, because when I was going through my darkest time in 2017 through 2019, I was also being targeted online and slandered online. People didn't know I was depressed. So that actually could have ended a lot more tragically than it did. And on top of that, when I went through it more recently, I learned to talk about it like I'm talking to all of you now, to share about it, because maybe people could learn from what I went through. So I at no time have ever thought about unaliving myself or anything like that, but I have went through darkness. And the reason I'm sharing this with all of you is you don't always know. People's appearances are not always what they seem, and some people take things a lot harder than others, depending on their diet and their placements, eat right for your zodiac. I have a lot of water in my chart. So a breakup for me can take years to get over, to where someone else can just, be going out or sleeping with someone right away. I have a very big heart too. So things that can cause me to get depressed may be different than you. I have a really hard time seeing homeless animals or elderly people. It will send me, if I see those videos right when I wake up, it sends me into a place of darkness. So I've had to be mindful and only follow certain accounts. And it's hard, I've been vegan 23 years for that reason. I have a deep passion and love for animals. Here are the tips and the ways that you can help yourself if you're going through a dark time. Number one, and this is going to sound so like, well, that's obvious, but really it's not, because it was the last thing I discovered. Get to the root of the problem. So if you're sad and you're grieving, talk to someone, even if it's a trusted friend. If you've had a loss, talk to someone. Make sure it's a person that you can really bounce things off of without judgment. Number two, check your D3. D3 is powerful. Without the sunlight, I saw someone, saying they had skin cancer removed from their face today. someone on my Facebook wall, and they were saying, oh, wear sunscreen. No, sunscreen is toxic, actually. We need vitamin D. Skin cancer actually comes from what we put in our body and, too much exposure from sun. But done in a healthy way, we need vitamin D on our skin. I try to sit in the sun with the dogs for at least 20 minutes a day and let the sun shine on my face, particularly in the morning hours. So D3, if you don't have D3, if you don't have adequate sunlight, if you live in Alaska or something, D3 is powerful. Another thing is your B vitamins. Make sure you're methylating properly. You can take an MTHFR test to find out if you're methylating or not. So, excuse me, I'm so sorry, you guys. Here, Bubba. Here. Sorry about that. He was crying for his toy. So D3 is one way. Another way is methylation. Make sure your MTHFR, take the test, especially if you have insurance, take advantage of that. Make sure you're getting enough B vitamins in your diet. That's another thing. Another thing is socializing. I am a hermit through and through. I live literally on the top of a mountain growing my own food. There's very little need for me to leave the house unless I go to the gym or a yoga class or ballet. But I am priding myself on getting socialization in, even if it's just reaching out to people I love via FaceTime or what have you. And last but not least, and this sounds so redundant, and you see this everywhere. And I want to grab him, and then I'm going to share this with you. Excuse me. Come on. Sorry, dog in training. Last but not least, do actually check on your friends that appear to be smiling from ear to ear and okay. I think this is vitally, vitally important, because to the rest of the world, the gentleman that just took his life appeared okay. He had a great family. He had all of that, right? I don't want to say his name because I feel like his name has been, it's like Robin Williams. It's the same thing. It's just he's being used as a poster child right now. And I don't think it's actually fair to his family. I saw a woman on my Facebook feed make a reel about him the other day and using herself in the side. And I was like, okay, that doesn't seem okay. But, no one would look at me from 2017 to 2019 and think I was depressed. And no one would have looked at me recently over the past few months and thought, oh, wow, she's suffering, she's depressed. And, when you lose someone, it's hard. It's sometimes really hard to go through. So my advice to you is really reach out to those people that appear to be okay, because sometimes they're not. And I think that's very, very important. So I love you guys. I wanted to share this message with you, and it actually came about when I was getting ready. I was going to do something completely different. I actually have a ton of videos I'm supposed to record for companies right now, and I thought that this message needed to be said, because I don't put it out there when I'm not doing well. I put it out there when I'm pissed off about something, but I don't actually put it out there when something's going on in my life that maybe is really, really sad or really hard to deal with. I want to share one more thing with you. I think this is valuable too. Eliminate the problem. If the problem is a financial issue, go there. If the problem is a relationship issue, address that. If the problem is, personally for me, I never feel lonely. I love to be alone. So like the problem arises with me when I'm around too many people. I get really like, oh God, I need my space, you know? So whatever it is with you, if you went through a loss, right? And you're having trouble dealing with it, you know, get to the root cause. But a lot of times, and this is what they don't want you to know, right? Just like on my TikTok videos, I'm always talking about what they don't want you to know. You know, companies, drug companies, and things like that, they don't want you to know that this can be solved through proper nutrition and diet a lot of the time. A lot of the time, diet and proper supplementation is key to fight depression. So, really, really, really look into that. Really, really examine how you can turn things around with B vitamins, D3, vitamin C in the morning, things like that, things to boost your mood. Body movement is key. Working out your body at least 35 to 45 minutes a day is key. It gets the endorphins going, it gets everything moving, right? So I hope this video helped you guys. If it did, give this video a thumbs up and give it a heart. And if I don't see you before Christmas, Merry Christmas. And check out my other platforms on YouTube, Andrea Cox TV and The Detox Intuitive. On Facebook, Andrea Lee, Leigh Cox. On TikTok, Andrea Lee, Leigh Cox. And on Instagram, Raw Chef Andrea. I love you guys so much. And AndreaCox.com, sign up for my newsletter there. Be well. Sorry, you guys, I'm like ending it on every platform.